Hello, the Phasmophobia devs have recently done a Q&A session over on the Phasmophobia Discord, just covering what's coming in the VR update and what's coming in regards to future content. I know not everyone is part of the Phasmophobia Discord, so just making a quick video, gonna go over the answers for you. Not feeling the best today, a little poorly, so I'll try and speed through them. So first of all, the VR update section. Will VR users with older headsets, e.g. Oculus One, notice a big difference with the new system compared to the previous? The developers said every VR user, regardless of headset, will see a significant difference in both playability and performance with the VR rework. In regards to playability, we're going to touch more on that soon, in regards to quality of life features, additions, etc. And yes, there have been great performance additions as well coming with this update, which is good, because I know some people can't play some of the maps, Maple and Edgefield in particular, due to big hits with performance. Number 2, will we be able to throw objects more accurately in VR after the update? Yes, there will be no need to pick up an object twice before you can throw it, not to mention much more realistic throwing physics. Sounds way more functional and immersive. Number 3, have there been any VR capabilities from previous games you have all worked on that you are bringing into Phasmophobia? So we're adding hand poses to almost every player interaction in the game, as we saw in the teaser trailer the other day actually. So e.g. you're grabbing door handles or flicking light switches. Fantastic, that's going to bring the immersion up to the next level entirely. I think that's really going to enhance the VR experience. Next, are there any plans to release Phasmophobia for the Quest 2 to play without a PC connected? I'm not familiar with the Quest 2 myself, but the developers said sadly not. Phasmophobia is a very complicated game and we will not be able to port this over without limiting a lot of the graphical settings and features. Next, this is a very good question. What content will be available to PC players in the VR update, i.e. those that don't have a VR headset? So sadly, there isn't a lot of new content for PC players. However, we will be doing a small patch afterwards with some things to tide you over until the custom difficulty update is finished. However, there is still some stuff. So sound sensor, first of all, I believe they are referring to the sound sensor rework that's coming. Going to have some new functionality. Secondly, the new truck screen UI as seen in the teaser the other day. Thirdly, crossing off ghosts in the journal. So if you're confident that it's not one of the ghosts based off something that you've seen, then you can now cross it off yourself, which is great. Just a little good quality of life change there. And finally, several balance changes to hiding places and blockers, as well as small tents on Maple working properly. Fantastic. And they did hint here that the custom difficulty update is probably going to be the next one, but more to come on that one in the future. So that's all for the VR section. Let's move on to the future content. So what are some of the craziest difficulty options we can expect with custom games, i.e. those coming with a custom difficulty, because you're going to be able to tweak a lot of different attributes within the level. So first of all, there are some mental combinations if you want some really hard games. They've given some examples here. So imagine moving at 50% speed while the ghost moves at 150%. So scaled up and down accordingly, with 0 hiding places and a broken fuse box. So it sounds like we're going to be able to maybe scale this on a slider for both the player and the ghost. How about a ghost only giving 1 evidence with super low interaction or event rates? It'd be like a demon rev or shade had a baby. Or throw balance out of the window, make yourself super speedy, the ghost go crazy with activity, play with every cursed possession at once. So it sounds like it's going to be quite a bit of a sandbox experience. You're going to be able to tweak it to exactly how you desire in regards to a lot of different aspects, which is quite cool. Maybe even bumping up interaction rates could be very good for testing ghost powers and stuff. I can see that being very useful in that regard. Sounds quite fun anyway, tweak it as you desire. Next, we have any plan to add more detailed stats in the future, so that's referring to post-game stats once you've completed the mission. So yes, we have plans for a brand new stat screen tied to your account, as well as a more detailed post-game stat screen for debriefing after each contract. So there you go, sorry, my bad, it refers to both of them. So account stats overall, maybe like how many missions you've done, how many hunts you've survived, how many ghosts you've ID'd correctly, etc. I'm sure the possibilities are pretty endless here, so excited to see what they come up with. Next, we have how many upgrade tiers can we expect for each piece of equipment, because upgradable tiers are coming soon, TM, in a future update. So we're aiming for 3 tiers for equipment. At this stage, not every piece of equipment has upgrades planned, like the poor old salt shaker. So we've already seen some of these in action. They've snuck a few into the lobby every now and then. We've seen the big, marvellous new UV torch. We've seen the PSP 11 spirit box as well. I think it's quite logical to see how some of them are going to be upgradable, but maybe some of them might be a bit more difficult to do, as they mentioned here with Assault. Maybe they could just give more uses per salt can. Maybe you can place X number with the basic one, X plus 1 with the next one, X plus 2 with the one after. Next, could you give us any insight into how upgradable equipment will be implemented? Of course, upgrades will become purchasable once you reach the required level for that equipment's next unlock. Once you have purchased the upgrade, you can choose to bring whichever tier of the equipment with you for that contract. You only pay to bring the equipment itself. Only unlocking the tier will cost extra. Marvellous. For example, if you have 3 flashlights, you could choose to bring one of each tier for the same cost. Amazing. And of course this will tie into the prestige system, I believe, as well. So you will be unlocking all these as you progress up to the maximum level, whatever that's going to be. And when you prestige, you'll be going back to the basic equipment again. So it's going to add some form of progression as well, which is good. I think that is going to be a bit of an incentive to carry on playing. It's always nice to unlock new things and have something to work towards, which I guess currently is not in the game. Moving on, will the new daily weekly challenges be more incentive driven? We've got loads planned for new challenges and objectives. Some of them will be more complicated than others, but they will all help to give players a large incentive to play more often with worthwhile rewards. Fantastic. I'm really curious about this to see what they're going to do, because obviously worthwhile rewards probably teases a bit more than just money. I mean, there might be some customization options coming in the future, as mentioned in the past very briefly, so perhaps it's going to tie into those a bit more. Again, just ties into progression a bit nicely, gives people more of an incentive to hang around and have something to work towards. Next, any ideas for what the hallucinations might be if they get added? Good question. So hallucinations will definitely be added with Horror 2.0. So Horror 2.0 is slowly being trickled into the game with each update. Sometimes they're putting in little bits, little sprinkles here and there. So we're looking to add things such as paintings melting as your sanity decreases, writing and symbols on the walls, and many more. So I think the possibilities are very endless here. They sound really good already. Can't wait to see what else they come up with. I suppose I hope they just are maybe a little bit more subtle and not too in your face, because it might get a little bit obnoxious. Next, can we expect the option to have more than one ghost or friendly ghost in the custom update? So one ghost is currently our limit for technical and performance reasons. You will be able to disable the ghost ability to hunt, but this will stop you earning rewards. Yeah, personally, I'm not a fan of more than one ghost or friendly ghosts. I don't really think they fit Phasmophobia, both gameplay-wise and thematically. I don't really think it's ever made too much sense, so I've never been too keen on that. But as they mentioned here, it looks like it's not going to happen. Next, what kind of new animations should we expect to see in the progression update? Quite a long answer here, so loads. We can pretty much add animations to anything, such as toggle animations like turning on and off a flashlight, placing and pick up animations for candles or motion sensors, walking, running animations for the first person view, switching between items like grabbing the spirit box and pulling out its aerial, idle animations like fiddling with items, much better multiplayer animations, no more bendy backs, rest in peace. Death animations and new ghost animations will come straight after the progression patch with the Horror 2.0 main update. So that last bit here has me intrigued as well, because up until now Horror 2.0 has just been sprinkled within other updates. Looks like they might be planning a bigger horror focused update. That's very much intrigued me, because that is what I'm looking forward to the most by far out of anything. I would love to see more horror elements in Phasmophobia. But going back to the original question, looks like loads of animations might be coming in the future, which is fantastic. Going to bring the immersion to the next level entirely. Next up, what should we expect to see when character customization options are added in the progression update? Nothing is set in stone as of yet, but we're planning for several player options. Hairstyles and colours, skin tones and face presets, clothing options. Sounds good, but where are my truck cosmetics? I want my truck cosmetics. I've been dying for them since this game came out. Tie them to the host or something, you know. Maybe even lobby cosmetics. The possibilities are endless again. So next, what will the Unity engine update and new render pipeline bring to the game? So performance should increase greatly across the board. We'll have access to VFX Graph, allowing us to create insanely detailed particle systems with a very low GPU performance cost. New options for lighting and materials such as parallax mapping. Next, what are some of the potential new things you will be able to do once you switch to those new/improved systems? So VFX Graph will allow us to have thousands of particles for the performance cost of just a few. This allows us to do things like much more realistic rain, smoky ghost shaders and effects, better fire, embers and smoke for the campsite and smudge sticks, throws out all the birds perching on rooftops and flying away. I mean, not much to say here, just fantastic overall. Sounds like it's going to add a lot to the game with minimal performance costs, so absolutely amazing. All of these additions are really going to add up to make this game a lot more immersive. I can't wait to see how they're all going to mesh together in the future. So next, how do DK and Lavender spread out their duties while working on, for example, the VR update? So everything we do is separated into small tasks and then assigned to someone, such as an individual bug that needs fixing or a feature that needs adding. The VR updates programming tasks have almost entirely been done by Lavender. Nice little insight there about what's happening behind the scenes, but it's good to see that they have a method and process that's working well for them. Next, any updates on a console port. So sadly, we have no timeline for when this will happen, but we will update you as soon as we do. I'm guessing this would not come until well after early access. And finally, any plans on leaving early access on Steam, speaking of early access. So once we finish this year's roadmap of updates, Horror 2.0 and maybe add a map or two, we think we'd be nearing the release of Phasmophobia 1.0. That sounds weird because it feels like it's a game that's got a lot of content and stuff to it already, you know. Feels like we've already had 1.0, but you do forget this game's in early access. So there you go, that's the dev Q&A anyway. Exciting stuff here, looks like it's going to be another good year for Phas, which is great to see. Quite a lot of polish as well coming this year, I feel, because we had some really big content drops last year in regards to the anniversary update, Halloween update, and Cursed Possessions around Christmas. But I think this year, like, the immersion and additional small features, quality of life changes are going to be taken to the next level. The level of polish being brought to Phas is kind of crazy this year. But there you go anyway, that is the Q&A. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you're looking forward to the most down in the comments. Thank you for watching, as always, and I will catch you in the next one.